The UK economy is bigger than we thought. It still has a growth problem. No, Mini-Me had a growth problem. We've simply got an economy that could be better in an ideal world, but it's still growing, and better and quicker than many European countries, which the BBC refuses to notice or talk about, ever. Sadly, we're going to have to talk about Brexit again, because the powers that be don't want us to. Let's have a win, shall we? Right, this story was from the 4th of September 2023. The UK economy recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic much faster than previously thought, according to major revisions of official statistics that have erased Britain's laggard status overnight. Erased our laggard status overnight. Weird how nobody seems to have reported on this back home. I haven't read that anywhere. Not the BBC, not Channel 4, not Sky News. Weird that, innit? It's almost like those three have a certain agenda to push regarding the European Union. And while I'm on, what do they actually like about the European Union? Fat, slimy, thieving politicians, corruption, decadence, rank stupidity by the likes of Ursula von der Scheisseporn, who somehow keeps getting promoted despite the fact she's about as useful as Stephen Hawking's bicycle clips, and the cherry on top, they aren't performing any better than the UK anyway. And I'll also point out that the idea that everything's about economics is purely within the purview of the Guardian readers and the BBC journalists and the insufferable middle-class arseholes. They're the ones that made it all about economics. We, the normal, the great unwashed, or the normal people of the United Kingdom, we always knew it was going to be challenging leaving the European Union because none of the powers that be wanted it. We thought it might cost us some money. We all read the pamphlets and we all did the reading and we all did our homework, and we knew it might cost us some money, but we did it anyway because it was never about the money. It was never about the money. It was about independence, sovereignty, running your own state of affairs, being able to fire the weasel that rules it over you. At least when I go to the town hall in Middlesbrough, the local MP is sat there 10 yards in front of me and I can say to him, "Here mate, I would rather go binge drinking with Bill Cosby than briefly brush past you in the street, you lying maggot." Right? When you're getting ruled over from Brussels, you cannot even talk to the people that are in charge. There's 20 layers of security for them. Guy Verhofstadt and all his pals have nothing to do with you. Jupiterian is the word that Macron likes to use. They think they're better than you, they think they're above you, they do not want to talk to you, and they will keep stealing your money to spend on wine, women, and Colombian cuckoo dust, right? They are worms. It was never about the money. You know it, and I know it. It was about the principle of the matter. But lo and behold, even if it was about the money, which it isn't to normal people who care about hearth and home rather than jaguars and underage prostitutes, even if it was about the money, they've still lost the argument. The UK harmonised unemployment rate for Q2 2023 was 4.2%, up from 3.9% in Q1, above Germany and the US, but far below France, 7.3%. I pick France because A, they're our closest European neighbours, they have a similar sized population, a similar sized GDP, military, they're similar to us in so many ways. If we're doing better than France, we're doing alright, is the short version. Oh yeah, and also, the French. I get a little bit of blood in it when I'm having a pop at Johnny Frenchy. And here's some figures from the European Commission. The EU economy continues to grow, albeit with reduced momentum. The forecast revises growth in the EU economy down to 0.8% in 2023. 0.8%. Ooh, booming. It's booming in Europe. Ooh, Brexit's been a disaster. It's booming in Europe. Have you seen the clip of Europe? Have you been for a walk around Paris? It's like Mogadishu with garlic. Back to CNN, the dramatic revisions mean the UK economy has grown much more strongly since the end of 2019 and is no longer the worst performer in the G7, faring better than Germany. What, we're better than the Germans at something? That makes a nice change, doesn't it? It's definitely not football, or making pornography that involves bodily waste, or bondage and dwarves. They're into that as well. One last piece of data, inflation. It could be much better because Britain was supposed to follow the Swedish model. Lord Sumption has talked all about it. We know that the chicken McNuggets that run the UK had a plan, prepared for a plan, ran the numbers for the plan, and then threw the plan in the bin as soon as it got started, despite the fact we knew there was a pandemic on the way, because the people that run the United Kingdom have got the intellectual capacity of a ham sandwich. We knew that, so we should have done much, much better than the rest of Europe. But even being where we are, things aren't that bad, despite what the BBC will tell you. Trading economics has got inflation rates across Europe. Obviously, Liechtenstein's doing pretty well. Damn you, Liechtenstein! Always a thorn in my side. But when you get down to the higher rates, you can see Germany's at 6.1, Lithuania's at 6.2, Ireland's at 6.3, the UK's at 6.8, and below's is Austria, Bulgaria, Iceland, Croatia, Macedonia, Czech Republic, Romania, Poland. There's plenty of places performing less well than the UK. Ireland is 6.3, the UK is at 6.8. And you don't see the BBC going, oh my God, Ireland, what's happening? Big horror, what's happening to Ireland? Everything they say is nonsense. It's political machinations. The Remainers are sour because they lost and we won, and they hate you. They think their vote should matter more than yours. I shop at Marks and Spencer's and Waitrose, and I live in the home counties, and I read The Guardian, so I should have 20 votes. And welders and brickies and window cleaners and northerners, they shouldn't be allowed to vote at all. That's what they think, and that's why they will shove you back into the European Union before the end of this decade. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We had to vote 5 times to get them to actually leave the bloody thing, and they're going to wedge it back in. They're going to wedge us back in the European Union, and then they're going to roll up a copy of The Guardian, and they're going to wedge it in your dirt box. Get used to it. Get used to it, lads and lasses, because it's coming anyway. Sensible people that listen to the Angry Bootneck have been black-pilled for years. We're not in charge. We don't get what we want. And when the scum that run the UK want to smash your back doors in, they go in dry, straight through the back of your jeans, no lube. So get used to it. But in the meantime, I just thought I'd point at some facts. Everything they say is lies, but you already knew that anyway. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that gave you a chuckle. All the links are in the description. Have a read for yourselves. Please like it and share it, and I will see you all very, very soon. Cheers.